Let's now take you to Limpopo, and that's where we have SABC News reporter Katlego Nyoni for the latest update. Katlego, we understand that flood victims in the Makhuva village outside of Giyani in Limpopo are appealing for urgent intervention from the provincial government. We also understand that police have since confirmed that 2 more bodies have been recovered.
Well, good evening, Bali. Of course, we've just learned that search and rescue operations have just started at the village of Mashishimale, where we understand that 2 high school learners were swept away. The circumstances surrounding that particular incident, where they may have potentially drowned, are still unclear at this particular moment. But I was in communication with the police spokesperson in Limpopo, Brigadier Giyani Mashaba, who says they are still gathering facts around that. However, the mayor of the Palabora local municipality, Miriam Malaji, was able to confirm that for us that, they have learned of the drowning incident involving 2 teenagers who are in high school at Mashishimale village. They were swept away by the Lijori River, and that the search and rescue operations have indeed commenced. There is a team that we understand is currently rushing to Mashishimale village, which is in Palabora, to try and see what the circumstances around this drowning incident are, and potentially be able to trace the 2 teenagers who we understand are male, and they drowned just a short while ago, in fact today, at that Selati River, the Lijori River. So this is information that just came to our attention. The other piece of information that came to our attention, speaking of matric learners who were then swept away, is that learning and teaching will resume in the province. However, teachers are the ones who are going to report to their respective schools tomorrow. Learners will then resume or report to their respective schools on Tuesday. Bali.
Katlego, when it comes to teaching activities resuming this week, what are parents saying? Are they comfortable enough to take their children to school if it seems as if the weather has not really yet subsided?
Well, earlier on today, we spoke to a teacher that was also attempting to cross the Selwani Bridge between Palabora and Giyani, and who said to us that she does not think that it is the right time for learners to return to school. However, the previous week when the flooding started, we spoke to some learners who expressed sadness that they were looking forward to studying their 2026 academic year. However, with the floods, they understand that their safety needs to take a precedence. Of course, this is a statement released by the Education Department in the Limpopo province, indicating that teachers will return. Remember, it was not all schools in the province, it was schools in areas that are considered the hardest hit, roughly about 1,400 or so schools. So certainly not all schools were closed, and not all schools suspended learning and teaching. So tomorrow, as the teachers go back to school, and eventually learners on Tuesday will certainly still be on the ground to see the situation in the schools in areas in the northeastern parts of Limpopo, including Vembe district as well as the Mopani district. Mbali.
All right, Katlego, thank you so much for that update. That's SABC News reporter Katlego Nyoni. They're giving us the latest update from Palabora.